I'm Kate Connors, the club director, and this is Bob Kilpatrick, our field supervisor.
How do you do?
Glad to have you with us.
Thank you.
Where are your bags?
One of the officers said he'd bring them down for me.
Are they marked?
Yes, they are.
I'll get them and put them in the Jeep.
Thank you.
Hey, look what's coming.
Hey, where'd she come from?
That's the merchandise, fella.
Hey,
Just
Joe,
look.
come up and look at
Hey,
me.
Charlie, put your eyes back.
lady, don't be sorry.
Look what the Red Cross of a mistake. A good-looking day.
I got 10 days.
Don't pay any attention to them. How was the trip?
A little crowded.
Paint. Excuse me, I got a little petty larceny to attend to. The Jeep is right on down there.
All right.
Hello, boys.
Hiya, Kate.
How are you, Harry, old pal?
Now, look, Kate, I got no extra lumber, no tables, no chairs, no nails.
What's all those?
Paint. And all of it has to go to Camp Barnes.
All of it.
All of it.
Every single little drop of it.
Every single little drop of it.
Oh. You know that new room we're building on the clubhouse?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what that's for? So you boys can have hot showers anytime you want. Only showers in Noumea. Of course, if we don't paint it, you're all going to get splinters on your bottoms.
Now, Kate, I'd like to help you, but all that stuff is in Craig's. If I had a loose can, I'd be more than happy to let you have that.
I know you would, Harry. You're a good kid.
Then what's the matter with you guys?
We can't help it. What, Harry?
Oh, it's slip, Harry. Gray. Well, you're going to slip them all back into the crate again and nail it up. What do you think they send this stuff out here? Hey, wait a minute, Kate. Hey, that stuff was counted in San Francisco and in Pearl Harbor, and what's more when it got here?
Yeah, they're all so efficient.
Well, now I'm responsible for it.
So under to me, you don't get over.
I gotta see to it that every can in that pile is delivered to Camp Barnes.
You see to that, Harry. You see that every can in that pile gets delivered to Camp Barnes and tell them I said so.
Besides, what good's a paint without brushes? Where did you get those?
Old friend of the family gave them to me. Going away present. Isn't it pretty?
Well, put them away, Kate.
Look out, there's 3 eggs in there, too.
Give me nothing. Oh, you rich man, huh? Give me money. Give me the neck. Give me. Huh?
Hey, Mike, get out of there! Whoa! Look at the officer, Benny! Hey, Ski, that's the me. Let's get out of Red Cross Club.
They're just trying to act like big shots. It's the ones that don't whistle at you got to be careful of. You're going to make the rest of us look like a lot of sharecroppers in those new uniforms.
Well, they're nothing special.
Out here, anything that's new and not faded is something special, including what's inside the uniforms, too. Oh, genuine coat hangers. This is what we use out here, in case you run short. Glad you brought some of your own clothes. When you're off duty or on a Sunday, wear them. Boys get awful sick of seeing nothing but uniforms. Here's some towels. I'll see you down at the club when you're finished. No hurry.
Kate?
Hmm?
I heard on the ship that this unit was due to be moved up to Guadalcanal soon. I was just wondering if you knew when that would be.
Oh, that won't be for quite a while yet. They've still got an awful lot of mopping up to do. Your husband was killed on Guadalcanal, wasn't he?
Yes.
Whenever a new worker gets sent out here, I get a pretty complete file on them beforehand. I know an awful lot about you, Lee. Except for one thing. Why did you join up?
Well, I was alone. I thought maybe I could help in some way.
Could have helped in Washington or Pittsburgh or London. Why did you do everything to be sent out to this area? I want you to know, Lee, that I tried very hard not to have you sent out here. I figured you were coming on some sort of a pilgrimage.
I'll do my job.
I hope so. Just remember, we've got thousands of boys here, and each one has a problem, or will have. And that's what we're here for, to help them. Our personal troubles are only secondary. Well, I see by your file you play a mean piano, speak French, and paint. You're going to be a very busy girl.
I want to be.
See you at the club.
That teaches a French class?
Yeah, I saw her around here a minute ago. Yeah, there she is. She's over there playing chess.
Thanks.
Came in there about the third day after.
Say, I was a little late in joining the French class, so I was wondering, after you closed up tonight, you and I
I'm sorry, we're not allowed to date enlisted men. It's against military regulations in this area. They just won't let us.
Lady, I don't want a date. I want a lesson. Catch up with the rest of the class. Maybe get a little ahead of them. What do you say?
Lover boy, go get yourself a donut.
I'm sorry he interrupted. You were saying that
You asked about the canal, and I was saying my outfit came in on the third day, and
you didn't happen to know a lieutenant by the name of Ashley? Howard Ashley? He was with the 1st Parachute Battalion.
Ashley. Ashley.
My husband.
It's tough, I'm sorry. No, I didn't know him. My outfit was right next to the first chutes on the ridge.
Bloody Ridge?
Is that where he got her?
13th of September.
It was a rough day.
What was it like?
Rough.
Well, if you do meet anybody who knew my husband, I'd appreciate it very much if you
I've
would...
got a friend who was with the first shoots. He's still in the hospital on Guadalcanal. His name is Eustace Press. Sounds like a publishing firm, doesn't it? You could write to him and...
Oh, Lee, could I see you for a minute, please?
Well, writing isn't very satisfactory. Maybe I could see him when we move up there. Excuse me.
That raider outfit that took Randova's docking here tonight because they've got some wounded on board.
Well, I thought they flew the wounded in days ago.
These are last-minute casualties, and the Navy nurses are short-handed, and they've asked us to help. So you and Helen and Joni come down with me.
Well, Kate, if you don't mind, I'd just as soon stay here. I won't be any good at it. I have a revulsion to accidents and people who've been hurt. It sort of does something to me.
Sort of does something to all of us. That's why we take turns. The Jeep is outside my office. to the hospital with him.
I'm fine.
Here you are, kid.
Well, thanks a million, Kate, for coming down. Without you and the girls, we'd have been swamped.
That's all right.
How you doing, fella?
Mister, I'm sure you're a good man, but couldn't you give me a girl to walk along beside me or
Now,
something?
I know you're feeling better.
How about me? What I do?
You certainly will. Just cackle for me. I want to hear some female cackle. Go ahead. Talk.
Where are you from?
Massachusetts.
A little more slack. A little more. A little more slack.
Louis, did they take Peckinpah ashore yet?
He's on the hook now, Chaplain.
Hello, Chaplain.
Kate, hello.
Good to have you back. Anything we can do for you?
Well, I need a lot of help, but we can talk about that later. For the moment, would you just take care of Sergeant Peckinpah here?
Sure we will. How you doing, fella?
Fine, ma'am.
Who's the CO of this outfit?
Colonel Black. There he is now, just coming up to the railing. Don't worry, Sergeant. You're in mighty good hands. I'll see you at the hospital as soon as we get the men off the ship. Corporal, I'll see you at the hospital, okay?
Reveille in the boondocks tomorrow.
Take it easy, Sergeant. We'll give you a great coming out party. Get some more cigarettes for you. Lee! Lee! Johnny! Here. Stay with this man. You're not doing much good standing around here.
Sorry, Kate. It just seems horrible and stupid to me. These men are suffering, and you give them small talk, candy, and chewing gum.
What you give them doesn't matter.
It's just ludicrous and shocking.
You could give them a paper clip or an old golf ball or your hand to hold for a while.
Well, I'm afraid I'm
What's important is that you're here, and you're giving them a little bit of yourself. Come on. Get your feet wet. Those are the fatigue cases.
Come on, Ray, over here. The ambulance is over here, Ray.
Have you seen my family? Talked to my father yesterday. He said they'd be here to meet me.
Come on, Ray, we have to go.
Have a cigarette?
No, thanks, ma'am.
What happened? You shaved too close this morning?
Yeah, and I had a Jap barber.
A little more. A little more.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm sorry, I forgot to give you some cigarettes.
Never mind. It's enough just to look up and know that somebody gives a damn.
Well, what happened?
Please. See, I was riding my bicycle, and this drunk driver went through this red light.
Yes, I'm terribly sorry. That was a stupid thing to say. It's just that this is the first time I've ever done this sort of thing.
You know something, lady? This is the first time I've ever done this sort of thing.
Would you like me to come out to the hospital and see you?
Sure would, lady. Kind of nice to talk to a soprano again.
Oh, Colonel Black? I'm Kate Connors, Red Cross Club Director here. Anything special we can do for your boys?
Yes, don't call them boys and leave them alone.
If there are no further instructions, good night. Good night.
too, just the same way. I really need it. I'm in St. Louis, see? I gotta get
Hi, Joni.
Hello, Kate.
Oh, hi, Kate.
Mail. Go by bus.
Bacon in there. Take it out in the kitchen and lock it up.
Where'd you get
I haven't got to eat, and I'm really busted. Only one thing to do. Gotta find myself a first-class sucker. So, I goes into this pool room kibitzing a game. After a while, this guy asks me if I don't want to play for a fifth. I tell him I don't know nothing about the game, so he spots me 10 points. I get the break, run the table. You should have seen the look on that pigeon's face.
Eddie!
Kate, what are you doing here? I heard you was in New Zealand.
I was for a while, but Eddie,
Kate,
I
it's
missed
so
you
good to see you.
I didn't know what had become of
Well, I was going to write to
I
you.
was almost out of my mind.
Why don't you let a guy know?
Oh, Eddie.
Kate, it's... Oh, geez, Kate, lay off, will you? I ain't no kid no more.
Oh, keep forgetting. Let me look at you. Listen, who do you think came through here last week? Lefty Henderson.
No kidding. Guess who I run into in Pearl? Scotty. He's a fly boy.
Oh, I saw him in New Zealand.
Kate, I want you to meet a couple of pals of mine. This is Paul and Louie.
Good to have you with us, boys.
Hi, Kate.
Happy to meet you. Come on, Eddie, shoot.
Remember the dame I was telling you about that ran the settlement house down in my neighborhood? Well, this is her. This is Kate. Boy, the time she kept me out of reform school.
Didn't used to miss him like that when you played with me.
I busted my finger. This is liable to cost me $100 a week in civilian life. Maybe I better put in for a pension or something. Say, this is a real nice club.
Oui, tout de suite, madame.
Kate, who's the blonde job?
Name's Lee Ashley.
She reminds you of Kate. Virgie. Virgie'd look just like that if she'd have grown up.
You want to meet her?
Yeah.
Oh, Lee, I want you to meet an old friend of mine, Eddie Wojcik.
Oh, hello, Eddie.
Hi.
Kate, it's Major Haskins. He thinks he knows where we can get some coat hangers.
Okay, I'll take it in my office. Eddie, have a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. I got some old snapshots to show you. You're going to get such a kick out of them.
You like cream in your coffee?
No, thanks.
I don't think I've seen you in here before, Eddie.
No, I didn't get a pass till today.
So you're an old friend of Kate's, hmm?
Yeah, she's known me since I was a little punk.
Here's the sugar.
She was always kind of watched out after me. She even wanted to adopt me once. I was telling Kate that my sister Virgie would have looked just like you if she'd have grown up. She got burned to death.
Oh, I'm sorry, Eddie.
Just make sandwiches around here?
Oh, no. I play the piano, dance with the boys, teach a French class, go out on sketching trips.
Eddie, Duke says he found a place where we can get some butterfly rum for $1 a bottle. Come on.
Look, well, I better blow. Tell Kate I'll see her later.
All right.
Eddie, here's the one of you and me the time we... Where'd he go?
He said he had to run. Said he'd see you later.
Always has to run. I only wanted to show him these pictures. Here he is when he was 11 years old. And it's his sister.
He told me she was burned to death.
About a year after that was taken. Mother and father, too. Tenement house fire.
Oh, that's horrible.
Well, my spies tell me that Lily has some extra coat hangers. You've never been there, have you?
No, I haven't. I'd love to go, but I've got an awful lot of sandwiches I
Oh, well, one of the other girls will fix it for you. Get your suit. You can go for a swim. Beautiful beach.
All right. Thanks, Kate. magnificent.
Take away the sea and the sky, and what have you got?
Does she live here all alone?
In a manner of speaking, no. She's the widow, in a manner of speaking. Lily likes company. Company. Lily!
Kate, I'm so glad you came.
Well, I see we caught you with your hair down.
I was just about to become dressed.
Lily Carrere, Mrs. Ashley Lee.
Yeah. Welcome to Leny, madame.
Thank you. It's a beautiful place you have here.
Jacques, silence.
Hi, Jacques. Well, I came down to talk you out of some coat hangers, and Lee here'd like to go for a swim, if you don't mind.
Certainly not. You will not swim?
No, I'll just sit here and enjoy your view and get a little this breeze.
I'll get you something cold to drink. Now, madame, I'll show you where to change.
Thank you.
Afternoon, I'm Colonel Black.
I'm Kate Connors. We met on the dock the night you landed.
Oh, yes, I remember. As I recall, our conversation was rather short.
Very short, but very much to the point. I don't know how to break this to you, Colonel. It's going to come as quite a blow, but for the past several days, a lot of your boys have... I beg your pardon, a lot of your men have been visiting us at the club.
I'm sorry to hear that. Talking to you ladies will spoil them.
Is that right? I suppose by the time you get to be a colonel, you've built up a certain amount of immunity.
Lily, she doesn't exactly remind me of home and mother. That's the kind of female I'm talking about. During a war, women should be relegated to two categories. A skirt a man can make a pass at when on leave, or back home, a wife, a mother, or sweetheart. One or the other. But let your sweet little creatures come over here and try to provide a home away from home. The men get all mixed up. My readers have one purpose in this war, combat. And all this sentimental slop that you good ladies hand out can only turn those fighting men into lonely, complaining boys again.
I'm curious, Colonel. Were you ever bitten by a Red Cross worker?
No, but I must confess it sounds interesting.
She should be back by now. You undoubtedly have 20/20 vision. Can you see a girl swimming down there?
There's someone in a green bathing suit sunning herself. Say, she's really something.
Any peeping Toms in your family?
He's twinkling and twitching like an electric sign in Times Square. All she lacks down there is a man.
Well, all I can say is we're fortunate that Admiral Halsey doesn't share your opinion of the Red Cross.
Oh, not only the Admiral. Practically every battalion commander thinks you're the greatest thing since gunpowder. And you should hear my chaplain go on about you. You two could have a regular love feast. I'll introduce you someday.
I know Chaplain Holmes. He came through here on his way out to you. I've been meaning to ask you, what's wrong with him? Ever since he got back, he keeps to himself. He's terribly low and depressed.
His faith got quite a jolt on Rendova. We've just taken our main objective. Chaplain was green. First taste of combat. Got a little overzealous and started leading the men in prayer. They knelt in a nice little open spot and a nice tight little line. There was a Jap in the bush nearby. Still had enough life in him to roll over and toss a hand grenade. 4 of the men were killed. 5th has a broken back.
Oh, no.
The grenade landed so close that the men's bodies took the entire blast. Chaplain was nearly knocked over by concussion.
The poor soul.
Wasn't his fault. But I imagine it's going to make praying a little difficult for him in the future. Who is she? What's her name? Who is she?
Mrs. Ashley.
Married, huh?
War widow.
Army?
Marine.
Good taste. What outfit was her husband with?
Paratroops, Lieutenant. Howard Ashley.
Guadalcanal?
Bloody Ridge.
Ashley. Ashley.
Did you know him?
No, I didn't. But I'd certainly like to know his wife.
Kate, I hope I didn't keep you waiting.
No, how was the water?
Oh, it was wonderful.
Aren't you going to introduce us?
Lee Ashley, Colonel Black.
How do you do?
Excuse me, I have to change my things.
Oh, don't hurry away, Mrs. Ashley. Let me get you a drink. I thought perhaps we could discuss a Red Cross program for my men.
Well, Colonel, right now, I'm
He's kidding you, Lee. Colonel Black doesn't even approve of having the Red Cross down here.
But I'm sure that's because I know too little of your work. Now, down at this club in town, what do you girls do exactly?
I think I'll leave the pleasure of enlightening you to some member of the Red Cross you know better than me.
Oh, but Mrs. Ashley, I feel I already know you very well indeed.
And I assure you that's as well as you're ever likely to know me, Colonel.
Jock, unless I miss my guess, just about now she should glance over her shoulder for that last curious look.
Oh, wait.
Jock, I think we've got it made.
Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
Le livre?
Oui?
Le crayon?
Huh?
La pomme.
Oui, très bien, Monsieur Woodchiff.
Okay, give me the buck. I told you he'd bat 1,000.
The guy's a regular ooh-la-la.
Sure, he's been eating a lot of French toast, that's why. Want to go for double or nothing the next round?
Thanks a lot.
Non, il est 5h30, la leçon est terminée. Au revoir, mes amis.
Thanks a lot.
Non, répondez en français, s'il vous plaît.
Oh, merci, mademoiselle.
A bientôt.
What do you mean, sucker?
Très bien, Eddie.
What about a game of checkers before dinner?
I'm sorry, Eddie. I have to go to the hospital. And, Eddie, see that they put the chairs back for me.
Why does it have to be a day? What do you want?
Why don't we go down to the camp?
Come on,
Let's go down to the Coconut Grove.
What's at the camp that we haven't done here?
We can eat here.
Okay, fellas, let's police up the joint and put the chairs away, huh?
What are you doing? Staying up night? You cost me a buck.
That was worth it. I'll pay it back.
Who do you think his coach was?
Some coach. How would you like to have a 2-week filler with a case of whiskey in that broad? Ah, you no good.
You never say things like that about her. Anybody talks dirty about her, I'll tear his tongue out, you understand? That goes for the rest of you, too. Come on, let's go shoot a game of pool.
When you come back, Lee?
Oh, I'll be back later. I'm just coming down to the hospital.
Game of chess later?
Bye.
Mrs. Ashley, I understand you're Howard Ashley's widow.
Yes, I am.
Well, I didn't realize yesterday when I knew Ashley very well. I was just on my way to the club to tell you how much I thought of your husband.
You knew Howard.
A real Marine. Couldn't we talk about it over some dinner?
Well, no, I'm afraid not. I'm just going to pick up a quick bite, and I promised one of the girls at the hospital that I'd come
Well, I'm
down
going to the hospital later to see some of my men. I'll drive you.
Well, no, I'm afraid...
I was with your husband the day he was killed.
Yes, I'll come with you.
Shall we walk? just across the park. Coffee later. I'm sorry you didn't have more time. I know of a charming little French place up the coast.
You said you were with Howard the day he...
The day or the day before, I can't quite remember.
Well, he was killed on the 13th of September.
Oh, then it would be 2 days before. On the 11th, at the briefing.
How did he look?
Well, you're going to have to help me a little, Mrs. Ashley. There were 2 junior officers that I could never keep straight. Ashley and Barrett. Now, one was dark and...
Well, Howard had light hair. He was tall, rather slender.
Oh, of course, now I've got them straight, yes. Barrett was the short, dark...
Here's a picture of him. San Diego, just before he sailed.
Oh, yes, I remember him well. Handsome fellow. Sensitive. With an almost delicate face.
Yes. There was nothing coarse about him. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way.
Oh, but I think it's true. Your husband and I were probably as different as 2 humans could be. Cigarette?
Oh, yes, thank you.
My pleasures are physical. Good food, good fight. Well, I'm sure that his gratification came from good painting, good music. I was just venturing the opinion that your husband enjoyed good painting and good music.
Yes, we both did.
Well, now that surprises me. You don't impress me as the museum and concert hall type. He did. The men used to call him the poet.
Well, that was cruel.
Why? They call me the beast. There was nothing derogatory about it. As a matter of fact, we all found his shyness and reticence a charming and pleasant relief.
He was gentle and kind.
You're so right. You know, I often wondered why he picked the Marine Corps. I mean, deliberately seeking the roughest possible duty. You must have wondered about that, too.
Yes, I did.
I mean, with his special capabilities, his education.
Well, after all, he was an architect. My father and I tried to convince him to go into the engineers.
Naturally, they needed architects desperately.
Well, that's what we told him. So did his family. My father even spoke to somebody in the Pentagon, but before he could... Well, Howard just came home one day and said it was the Marines.
I suppose, like many reserves, he was trying to prove something. Tell me, Mrs. Ashley, why are you so anxious to learn the details of that last day?
Well, Howard and I grew up together. Except for a few school years, we never knew what it was to be apart. When you've spent so much of your life together, you've got to share that moment of death, too. How did he die? Was it merciful and quick? Did he suffer? That's why I'm out here. And that's why I'm sitting across the table from you now, Colonel. And for no other reason.
What you really want to find out, Mrs. Ashley, is... did he fight or did he run?
Colonel Black, don't you think that that's...
Now, don't be defensive about it. After all, most soldiers wonder about that very same thing when they face the first crucial test. It's only natural that a wife whose husband was meek and gentle would have that in the back of her mind. That horrible, sickening panic that comes while waiting for combat is not so much from the fear of death as it is the fear of proving inadequate as a man in front of men. Well, if they don't treat you right, let me know. You deserve the best.
Oh, they're treating me fine, sir.
I'll keep in touch. How you doing, Peckinpah?
Just swell, sir.
Good evening, Colonel.
Evening, Chaplain. Doctors tell me you'll be up and around in no time.
I hope so, sir. Colonel? I'm sorry I fouled it up.
Be seeing you.
Goodbye, sir.
Colonel Black. I heard this afternoon that you busted Sergeant Peckinpah, a corporal.
That's right.
It wasn't his fault. It was mine.
You're a praying man, Chaplain. Peckinpah's a fighting Marine. It was his responsibility, and he should have known better than to let the men pray with you lined up like canned goods on a shelf. I want to make sure this never happens again.
Don't you think a fractured spine is reminder enough?
For him, yes. Pain is an excellent reminder, but only for the person suffering from it. This mistake was costly and inexcusable. And I want to impress every other sergeant with that fact. I found the dishonor of losing a stripe most effective for that purpose. Is that all?
No, it's not. Colonel, you give no consideration whatsoever to the spiritual life of the men. Your sole concern seems to be to make this battalion the most vicious, brutal fighting force in the Pacific.
Because they're facing a fanatical, ruthless enemy, just as well equipped and just as well trained as we are.
But their ruthlessness is not confined to the enemy. They're becoming cruel and treacherous with each other. They need more than flamethrowers and pride in their own superiority. Now, I am here to help them meet that other need, if you'd only let me.
Wait a minute. You seem to believe that it's your job to change these men. You're not running a mission in the Bowery, Chaplain, where it's a good day's work to pour a couple of jiggers worth of religion down the throat of some whiskey-soaked bum. Whatever you tell these men has to make them stronger, not weaker.
Real strength is not brutality, sir. It's an inner spiritual belief that governs
And
spiritual...
don't fill them with platitudes and religious superstitions. I want my men to be superstitious about only one thing. When they come face to face with a Jap in the bush, I want them to consider it very bad luck not to kill him first. And I don't want any of this, love thine enemy. If you must quote from the Bible, go to Samuel. I have pursued mine enemies and destroyed them, and did not turn back until I had consumed them. You're in the middle of a war, and these men are fighting it.
But they're men, not animals. They've got souls.
Those we left in San Diego.
Don't be so sure. You might discover that even you brought yours along. One day, Colonel, you will destroy once too often. And you'll find your own private hell.
In the meantime, I think that you'll discover that prayers are much more likely to be answered if the men are spread out and under cover. Oh, Mrs. Ashley. You didn't let me finish at the dinner table. I was about to say that your husband didn't run. On Bloody Ridge, nobody ran. So you and the children can rest assured that he died a hero.
We had no children.
Didn't realize. I could probably lay my hands on an action report at Bloody Ridge.
That won't be necessary.
Well, I thought we might talk about it a little more calmly. Perhaps on Sunday. That's your day off, isn't it?
Yes.
Good. I'll pick you up a little before noon. We can take a drive in the country. Have lunch at that French place I spoke of.
I have other plans.
Well, I'll drop by just in case you change your mind. Haven't asked, but I did see that action report I spoke of. I think you should know that your husband acquitted himself admirably. He died like a regular Marine. That's the greatest praise I can give him.
Well, there are some characteristics of certain regular Marines I like to think my husband failed to acquire.
Namely?
An arrogance, a disregard for the feelings of others, a contempt for weakness, and an almost revolting pride.
But not in himself. A pride in the Corps, yes. A pride that gives him an inner well of strength. Something that he can dip into when the pinch comes. I'm sure it was that pride that sustained your husband.
You may be right. His last few letters, they were so different from the others. Fury and rage in every stroke of the pen. What is it that the Marine Corps does to men that takes them from us and makes them a breed apart?
What took men off to the Crusades? What impels men to conquer mountain peaks? Physical challenge of danger. The most fascinating motive in life.
And I suppose once you've found it, you can't be quite the same. Ever again.
And to a lesser degree, I think that danger motivates some women in their relationship with some men. Like leaning over a precipice. They want to see just how far they can lean without falling. Sometimes a sentimental loyalty to the past pulls them back just in time and spoils all the fun.
Yes, but that's the point. I'm shutting out the past and Howard and decency and everything I've ever stood for.
You're not in love with him, are you?
Oh, not the way I loved Howard. This is animal. It's nothing more. It's just violent and cheap.
Well, at least you recognize it for what it is.
Yes, and I despise myself for it. But there's nothing I can do, Kate. I'm rolling down a hill and I can't stop myself.
And he's just the kind to be waiting at the bottom.
Oh, he's hard and cruel. There's nothing tender or gentle about him. He never asks me to do anything. He tells me. Why do I stand for it? I've never been treated this way before in my life.
That's why it's so fascinating.
Oh, it isn't. It's degrading.
That's part of the fascination.
His runner brought this a little while ago. It says he's taking me to dinner tonight aboard some ship in the harbor. Not do you care to go, just I am taking you.
Would you like to be transferred to the club at Tontuta? Maybe if you were to get away for a while.
No, Kate, no. Well, I can't just run away from it. I've got to be strong enough.
I'm sorry to keep you standing out there, ladies. It'll just be a minute.
Lee. Why, hush.
What in the world are you doing out here?
Well, I'm with the Red Cross. I thought you were on duty in the Atlantic.
Oh, I transferred last month. Well, for Pete's sake. The last time Oh, Lee, I was terribly sorry to hear about Howard.
Colonel Black, Lieutenant Hutchins.
How do you do, sir? Well, this is wonderful. Wait till May hears about this.
How is May?
Oh, she's
We can
fine.
go in now.
She's taking the kids down to her parents in Aiken for the winter.
Mm-hmm.
You remember we had the hunt down there? Let's see, we were down there a week.
Oh, will I ever forget that weekend? And Jean and Charlie were there,
Yeah,
too.
and Peggy.
Oh, no two ways about it. And I told George that the last time I saw him.
It was good to see you, Colin. Thanks, Dean. When you're on the beach, look me up.
I will. Oh, Hutch, I'll be with the skipper. Will you see that the colonel gets the gig when he wants it?
Right.
And you'll never guess who she married. Chipley Hawes.
No. The one who owns Romney Bay?
That's right. Well, they were both down in Charleston for the St. Cecilia, and it just suddenly happened.
Say, whatever happened to that little bay gelding you were training?
Oh, I sold him to the Finleys.
Oh, he was a beaut.
Wasn't he sweet?
Mm. You know, if this thing ever ends, I might take Bright Folly to England.
The Grand National? Oh, Hutch.
I think he might make it.
Hmm.
You know, I miss the horses more than anything.
Oh, well, I'm sure May would like that.
She understands.
You should see the horses we have out here.
Say, do they have 4 legs?
Just about.
Look, I'm off on Sunday. Why don't we ride a little in the afternoon and then
Mrs.
have dinner?
Ashley's going to be with me on Sunday.
Gee, I've got to get ready for the 8 o'clock report. It's been grand seeing you, Lee. Good night, Colonel. Nice to have met you. Just let me know when you want the gig to take you ashore.
Right now.
Yes, sir.
What do you know about me?
Well, what do you mean?
I mean, after listening to that idiotic friend of yours, I've got a pretty good idea of what your life has been. Now, just exactly what do you know about me?
Well, I know that your men are convinced you're some sort of god in uniform. Some of the nurses down at the hospital think you're the most glamorous thing that ever walked. And some people say you're part Indian and...
That always interests them. I'll never know why. But it's true. My mother was a half-breed, Blackfoot. My old man worked in a mine in a little town in Montana. I was born there. We lived in a tar paper shack that looked like a pig pen most of the time.
Why are you telling me these things?
Because I want you to know. You've seen these little native kids that beg on the street. Hey, fella Mac, give me a nickel. I was like that. Trains used to make a 10-minute stop in the town where we lived. My mother used to send me down to the station to beg from the passengers. She knew they couldn't resist the hungry-looking little redskin. Hated every nickel I got. I hated the people that tossed them at me. Occasionally, there'd be a little blonde girl. All pink and starched. The way you once looked, I'm sure. Parents used to say, just drop the money, dear. Don't get too close to him. He's dirty. When I was old enough, I ran away from home and joined the Marine Corps. They fed me, clothed me, and trained me. Nobody ever worked or studied harder than I did. I was an enlisted Marine for 12 years. And when they commissioned me, I Found out that I still had that odor of tar paper shack. I had a lot more to learn. What fork to use at dinner parties. How to make polite talk to somebody's fat slob of a wife. Take the finger bowl and the doily off the dessert plate. Maybe I didn't learn those things too well. Maybe in a drawing room, your friend Hutch feels superior to me. Even contemptuous. But out here, or anywhere during time of war, where it really counts, I'll make him look like a puny schoolboy.
So you joined the Marines, too, to prove something.
I thought I'd gotten over it. You see this? The average man is scared stiff of being different from the next fellow. I was different to start with. The only thing to do was to accentuate that difference. I started carrying this stick as a trademark of my arrogance.
Come and sit down.
Got a pretty good line on me now. I guess I'm not like the gentle people you've known. Does it make any difference?
Of course it doesn't. You know that.
That's what I told myself, but you had me a little snowed. There's a remoteness about you, a kind of untouchable quality. I've never known anyone like you.
And I've never known anyone like you.
Maybe that's why we're both here. We'll be pulling out shortly.
No.
Not combat. Tactical maneuvers with the task force. We'll be back in a couple of months. Leaving you is going to be an awful beating.
2 months?
Seen a lot of each other lately. I've kept my distance like I've never kept it before. But I don't intend to continue. You want to make sure that it's you and only you. Is that it? Would it make any difference if I ask you to marry me?
Morelli, Luigi F., Sergeant. Peckinpah, Chester H., Corporal. Hexton, John B., Private First Class.
We came for dinner, but we've got to change. Is there any chance of getting some dry clothes?
Je parle pas l'anglais, monsieur.
Vous avez peut-être quelques places pour changer les habits. C'est-à-dire si vous auriez quelques vêtements pour changer.
Oh oui, madame. Eh bien, suivez-moi. Jeannette, une de tes négligées pour madame. Et des vêtements sèches de papa pour monsieur.
Oui, maman, je viens tout de suite.
It's me.
Come in.
Oh, no. Oh, I don't believe it.
I thought I looked rather handsome.
Tell me, when does the boat arrive at Le Havre?
And may I ask, who designed that?
Oh, it's just a little something Mama ran up for the daughter when she was in an ugly mood.
I went out to the Jeep and got the flask. Keep you from catching cold.
You know, I've always heard that before a woman considers marrying a man in uniform, she should see him first in civilian clothes. Usually a big disappointment. Not to me. Now I'm doubly sure, darling.
The acid test of a man's love is to see the woman the way she's going to look in the morning. I must say, you're beyond belief. Even in that wrapper.
Oh, darling, not wrapper. That's a horrible word. Housecoat, lounging robe, or peignoir, but never wrapper.
Trying to change me already, huh?
Why, you vain, ostentatious CB. Don't you think once would have been sufficient?
It was given to me by an admirer who found me twice as intoxicating as others.
I hate her. What was she like? Tell me about her.
You really want me to?
Yes. No. Yes.
If I do, you'll become female, petty, and angry, and this moment will be lost.
Yes, then don't. I finally feel alive. I'm sort of recklessly happy. I want to stay that way.
Good. I think an excellent rule would be that neither of us bring up the past. Let's say this is the first time, both of us. I feel the same way. But it's not from the drink. Something breathless about you. Every time I look at you, it's like hearing music. Or seeing the ocean for the first time.
Why, I keep thinking about tomorrow.
Don't. When we say goodbye on that pier, we're going to have to be circumspect, formal and distant. But when we nod politely, remember, I'll be aching to hold you, just like this.
Oh, God.
Want something?
No, just browsing. Of course, it's none of my business, but when's the last time you had a night's sleep?
I'm all right, Kate.
Oh, yeah. You're in great shape. Working night and day at the hospital, helping us at the club, doing the work of a half. What are you trying to prove? Why don't you turn yourself in? You belong in sick bay.
That's just where he'd like me to be. No, Kate. I'm gonna get on that ship if I have to crawl.
Okay, but you'll find it's not a very pleasant way to travel.
Hey, Kate. Junior forgot a letter again.
Hey, would you mail this for me? I didn't get a chance to.
Sure, kid.
What have you got in that scrounge bag, Kate?
Oh, you're a wise guy, huh?
Hey, Kate, you got any boondockers in there?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
I hear the Navy lost an aircraft carrier, Kate. Come on, take it out, will
Your
you?
mother wears army shoes. Okay, I tend to the larceny around here.
Here, I'll take those.
Hey, Kate, you got a butt?
You're talking about cigarettes? I guess so.
Always cigarettes. I smoke cigars. Havanas. Kate, where'd you get them?
The general had twins. Hey, Eddie, be careful, you promise?
Oh, stop worrying. Will you, Kate? It's only maneuvers.
I know it's only maneuvers, but be careful. If anything was to happen
Kate,
to you...
if you start crying, so help me, I'm going to kick you right in the shins.
You try it now. Tell the kids about the time you played Little Buttercup in the school play.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, they'd love to hear about that one.
You would do that. Now,
I'd yell it from the boat deck if you get fresh with me, Little Buttercup.
All right, why don't you guys move on?
You and your big maneuvers. Bye, Eddie. So long, Louis.
Big and hold. Well, so long, blonde job.
So long, Eddie.
Oh, say, look, while I'm gone, if any guy gets fresh with you, you just remember who he is, and when I get back, I'll take care of him, okay?
Thanks, Eddie. Good luck.
Come on, move it up, won't you? Here comes the old man.
Goodbye, Colonel.
So long, Red Cross.
So long, Chaplain. See you when you get back.
Goodbye, Chaplain.
Coming, Chaplain.
Hey, somebody get a corpsman! See if there's a corpsman in the aid station.
I think he's had it. Put him in the hospital.
Why are the guys go there?
Get a stretcher from the aid station. I told him.
Give us an air.
Gangway, gangway.
Hey, Pat, look what I've got.
Where'd you get that?
I scrounged it. Santa Claus. Wonderful, Joan, thanks.
Helen, can you use this?
Oh, Joni, I sure can. Put it right over there.
Oh, the starfish of Bethlehem.
It looks good, doesn't it?
Great.
Lee? Lee! I'll be right with you, Kate.
Kate, how do you spell Caledonia?
You can't say where you are. That's a military secret.
How do you spell secret?
S-E-C-R-E-T. Oh, my feet are killing me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jeanette phoned, and the hospital girls are swamped. They need help with the Christmas letters. So when you get through with the trees, will you and Helen go out and help?
Yes, of course.
Oh, here's something that might interest you. Just came. APO 709 is Guadalcanal.
Kate, I don't think you better figure on my going along.
But you've been champing at the bit for months.
Yes, I know, but the scuttlebutt is that the Fifth will get back either tomorrow or the next day.
Tomorrow, I think.
Colonel Black and I are going to be married.
I didn't know it had gone that far.
Well, I'm terribly in love with him, Kate.
But if you get married now, I'm going to have to ship you right home.
Yes, I know.
You know it's against regulations for husband and wife to be in the
I
same
know.
theater of war. If I were you, I'd wait.
No, you wouldn't, Kate. We can't wait.
You know, I'd give anything to be with you and the kids on Christmas Eve. The reason I'm not writing this myself is because I sprained my wrist playing baseball. And I never was much of a left-hander. I can't tell you where I've been. But as usual, our outfit made monkeys out of the rest of them. I know I've talked a lot about Colonel Black.
Are you
But-
with the Fifth Raiders?
That's right.
Well, I didn't know they were going into combat.
We didn't. I got this on maneuvers. They flew me back. Don't tell anybody. They're treating me like a hero. But you know what hit me?
No.
A crate full of Spam. Fell out of a cargo net. Where was I?
I know I've talked a lot about Colonel Black, but
But this time, the crazy Indian outdid even himself. You know Black?
I've met him.
Incidentally, the Colonel's been swell to me. So I'd like you to do me a favor. The next time you drive over to Washington to see your mother, I wish you'd drop in on Black's wife and pay your respects. Her name is Clara. Although Black doesn't talk much about her.
When I came out of the hospital, I looked around for Lee, but she'd gone. With the Jeep. I had to bum a ride back. You had dinner with her, didn't you, Kate?
Right afterwards, I saw her on the street. She walked right by me like she was walking in sleep.
Here she comes.
Well, what was he? Air Force, Army, Navy, Marine?
Home clean, girl. Where have you been?
Put out that light. Anybody who doesn't come in on time can get undressed in the dark.
Thanks, Kate.
Come on, Sam.
There you are, honey.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. All right, good Merry Christmas to you, son. Hey, y'all got something for this little fella?
That we have.
Well, I guess he's no more than Bella Hyde or a possum. There you are, son. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Watch your step.
We're gonna find something for this nice little girl.
I'll get it, Kate.
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Red Cross Service Club.
Merry Christmas. We got in late last night. How have you been? Yes? I won't be able to get off for a while. I've got to check regimental headquarters. And I've got some paperwork to clean up first. Suppose I pick you up around 4.
Yes, I'll be ready. About 4.
Forgot the flask. Look at this place. Certainly seemed different that night.
Daylight has a habit of revealing things as they actually are.
What'd you want to come back here for?
I thought it would be appropriate.
Well, let's have a quick drink and get out of here. I heard of a new French restaurant about 30 miles up the coast.
You shouldn't be so violent about it. They say that people who make a fetish of cleanliness are very often inwardly dirty. It's a sort of compensation.
What's the matter with you? Ever since I picked you up, you've been snapping at me. Here, drink this, you'll feel better.
How's Clara?
I'm glad you found out. I knew exactly what I was doing, but I couldn't stop it.
When did you intend to tell me?
Many times, when I was alone. But every time I faced you, I couldn't force myself to say it. I knew if I had, I would have lost you. I couldn't let that happen, no matter what the price.
Even if I had to pay it.
That's right. I think it's the only cowardly thing I've ever done in my life.
How long have you been married?
2 months. The wedding took place 10 years ago. But I'd say we've been married about 2 months.
You're not in love with her?
No, that died a pretty quick death. She wanted me to leave the Marine Corps. That was like asking me to cut off my arms. So when I did a hitch in Central America, she stayed behind in San Diego. A lot of bars in San Diego. She got to know every one of them. She's been in a hospital in Washington for over a year now. Nobody seems to know what keeps her alive.
Well, why didn't you tell me this before?
You'd have felt sorry for me. I didn't want sympathy. I wanted you.
Yes, but only for an hour or so now and then.
Maybe in the beginning. But not afterwards. I wanted to get a divorce. I couldn't do that to Clara. Perhaps if I had quit the Corps as she wanted, she wouldn't be where she is now.
I must say your sense of loyalty is a little deeper than your sense of decency.
During a war, it's amazing what a man will resort to satisfy a desire of the moment. I suppose it's because he's not quite certain of how many moments he has left.
I'm sure there were many men who took decency with them, even to the grave.
I suppose.
Oh.
Now, look, it's
not...
not...
Oh, don't touch me.
Yes, I'm glad you found out. If this thing had gone on any longer, we might really have been put through the ringer. You'll get over it. I know at the moment it seems shocking and tragic, but believe me, in a few years, you'll look back and laugh at it. Take my advice.
And what advice do you have for your son or daughter? I'm sorry I can't tell you which it'll be at the moment. What shall I say to him or her? You'll get over it, dear. You were only the desire of a moment. Don't take it seriously. Your father says to laugh about it.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because I have some pride left. Not much, but some. I didn't want your sympathy any more than you wanted mine. And I wanted to be a wife to you and not a drunken joke around the officers' club when you're all sitting around boasting of your conquests. And I'm not going to be that funny story about the little blonde in Noumea. You're not going to have that chance, you dirty... Oh, let me go! I want to die! Let me go! Get away from me! Ah!
Lee. Lee.
Come on, just one hand, Dottie.
Oh, get lost, will you? I'm busy.
Come on, just one hand. It's gonna hurt you to play one hand.
The doctor says she'll be all right. But she lost the child. Well, Bob, what do I tell her?
We'll have to send her home.
If you do, she'll never get over it. Staying here with us and working things out gradually, that's the only chance she's got.
But there's nothing we can do about it, Kate. It's regulations, you know that.
I joined the Red Cross because they were in the business of helping people in trouble. This girl has loved two men in her life. One of them's dead, and the other one almost destroyed her. That's trouble, Bob. Real trouble.
All right, Kate. We'll find something.
And 3 threes. Come on, one more game will get you even.
I told you just one hand. Play solitaire.
It'll only take a second.
Look, I've got to take these reports over to X-ray. Hey, I've been all over the joint. Is this 72C?
Eddie, how are you?
Hi, how you doing? Is this 72C?
Yeah. Who do you want to see?
This is Lee Ashley.
No visitors now.
I was down the Red Cross. They said she had an accident. She hurt bad?
Eddie. Wasn't no accident.
No? What's wrong with her?
I was sitting over here, and
Hello, 72C, Miss Matthews speaking. No, he's not here, sir. I have no idea, sir. Well, I could look it up for you. No trouble, the chart's right here.
I'm telling you what you did to her! Sentry! Sentry!
Lock him up.
Aye, sir. Come on, let's go.
Colonel, she won't see you.
Eddie Wojcik's a friend of yours, isn't he? Just now, when I was leaving camp, he tried to kill me.
What are you going to do to him?
It's hard to punish a man for being right.
Colonel, may I come in, sir?
Yes?
We've got Wojcik locked up, but what are you charging him with, sir?
Failure to salute an officer. I'll give him 2 days restriction.
Yes, sir. Good night, sir.
It's kind of you, Eddie, but
No, just like the chaplain told me. I was looking at you like you was a statue or something. Anything that walks and talks and eats is bound to make a mistake, he said.
and when I make a mistake, it's a whopper. I'm sorry I wasn't worthy of your trust in me, Eddie. Goodbye. Good luck.
In case you're wondering, nobody but the chaplain and the colonel know why I jumped in that night. I didn't tell nobody else, and I never will.
Thanks, Eddie.
Well, what's the matter with you?
I'll tell you what's the matter with me. I've been waiting in line for 5 minutes to say goodbye to you.
Too bad, too bad. All right, if you want to kiss me, go ahead and get it over with.
Big deal. Well, no, thank you. I can get along without it.
That's what you've been hanging around for, ain't it? Goodbye, Kate.
Never mind now. This is for you, Lee. Compliment 5th Raider Battalion. Good luck. Kate, this is for you. Compliments 5th Raider Battalion.
Just what I needed. Oh, thanks, Carl. You're a
So- Company! And put! And salute!
That sergeant turns up with the generator for the donut machine. Remember, it's mine.
I'll get it on an ATC plane. Don't worry. Bye. Bye, Lee. Bye, Lee. Bye,
I know we've said our goodbyes, but the colonel just received word. We're going back into combat in a few days.
Good luck to you, Chaplain.
It won't be an easy campaign. The colonel will need all the physical strength and mental peace he can find. He doesn't know I've come out here, Lee. I thought perhaps through me you could give him something that might bring him comfort and maybe help see him through.
Well, what have you in mind? A flask with my initials on it?
Your forgiveness.
Oh, no. He wants me to be his conscience. To give him absolution, wipe the slate clean for him. Oh, no, Chaplain.
You hate him, don't you?
No, I don't hate him. He was trained to destroy, and he does it magnificently. And oh, so completely. He's left me with nothing. Not even the desire to hate or forgive.
Lee, I've been with him quite a bit these last 6 weeks. He's a different person. The arrogance, the cruelty is gone because of what he did to you. And then when his wife died, naturally...
Yes, I'm terribly sorry. I only heard about it yesterday.
I've been expecting it, of course, but still, it was a deep hurt. He felt responsible in a way. Now he feels that everything he touches dies. He needs your help, Lee.
He'll have to find his forgiveness somewhere else. It'll never come from me.
It must be wonderful to feel that one has lived such a perfect life, that forgiveness has never been necessary.
You just put the wire through here. I've already made 2.
Hey, Kate. This is the only bow we could find. Is it too big?
No, we'll only need a very large Cupid, that's all. Maybe you'd like to play the part.
Leslie, she's in the kitchen.
I've been looking for you. After your birthday party, I wrote to your folks. I got a letter back today. They're worried stiff. They haven't heard from you in 3 months.
I know, kid, but what's there to say?
Well, since it's to your mother and father, I suggest you start dear folks. Now come over to this desk and sit down and start writing, and you're not going to leave here until it's finished. Oh, Lee, these came in the mail, forwarded from headquarters. Requests asking us to put flowers on some graves. Names are in the letters, so when it stops raining, you can...
Kate, I hate to keep asking to beg off on so many things, but I just can't.
Do you mean you haven't been to the cemetery since we got here?
No. Well, can't you just see me standing beside his grave now?
What's wrong with you?
Nothing. Oh, I don't know. I just don't feel very well. Maybe I'm getting a fever or something or other. I don't know.
You've been drinking. I'm shipping you home.
No, please, Kate. No, I couldn't go back now. I couldn't face his parents. All mine like this. Please, Kate.
All right. If this ever happens again, you're on your way. Now drink this, get some sleep, and go on down to the cemetery.
Don't ask me to do it, Kate. Can't you see what it means to me?
I'm getting nearsighted seeing what things mean to you. If you only knew it, you're lucky. You can have other children. A lot of women can't, and some women never could. So stop this self-centered, self-pitying. Go and change your clothes or pack them, one or the other. And I don't care which.
Just the two of them, huh?
Yeah. No, that's right. There is another. Lieutenant Howard Ashley.
Able, likely, and...
1st Parachute Battalion.
Oh, they're all on the side over there. Look, rather than give you a number, you go talk to Useless. That's what we call him. His name is Eustace. There he is out there, see him? He was with the first shoots. Patient at the hospital still. Nice guy, though. Comes here every day. Pulls the weeds. Well, he'll show you.
Thanks. May I?
Why not? You people supply him. Help yourself.
Thank you.
Hello. Funny day, isn't it? The sun popping in and out.
The guard said you were with the 1st Parachute Battalion, that you could point out a grave for me. Lieutenant Howard Ashley.
The skipper? Sure. He's down here a ways. I was his runner. Great guy. You know, this is all my outfitting through here. Say, I hear you fixed up a nice club down there. I haven't been in yet, but I'd like to.
Oh, please do. We'd love to have you.
I'm glad you girls got here. It's awful good just to yak with a female. I'll probably talk your arm off. And it's nice to have someone decorating the graves now and then. Well, what do people do? Just write in and ask you to do it?
Yes, that's right.
You answer the letters, don't you?
Oh, yes.
That's good. This is Fuller. He was my buddy. And that's Mancini. This is Goldberg. They didn't like each other much. They're getting along fine now. You know, I got more friends here than any place else. They're all wondering why they're there. I keep wondering why I'm here. Only a handful of us got out.
How was it?
Rough.
Well, that's all any of you say. Rough. What does that mean?
Well, lady, when things are too rugged for words, that's rough.
How did Lieutenant Ashley die?
act like an amateur, squirming and squealing. You know, they teach you how to throw a grenade and fire a mortar, but nobody ever teaches you how to die. I guess because that's the one thing in this world there are no professionals at. You know, nobody comes back to tell you how to do it. You're on your own. When it's time for those last few gasps, everybody's an amateur. Here's the skipper. Who are the flowers from?
His wife.
Oh, the bloodsucker. When you answer a letter, tell her she's just great. A wonderful and courageous woman. She'll like that. But just between you and me, she's a real bloodsucker. He deserved a lot better.
What makes you say that?
Well, you know the kind. She threw her arms around him at the altar and never let go. Just squeezed and squeezed until there wasn't much left of him.
He told you that?
No, the skipper? He never had a bad word for anybody. But that last day or two, we were huddled so close together that if one of us started shaking with malaria, we all shook. But when you're that close, you get to gabbing about the things you shouldn't have done and the things you wish you had done. You know what kept eating him? That he didn't take a job once. He was an architect. And he had this chance with some company in New York. But she didn't want to live in New York. So she talked him out of it. She was the horsey kind. After all, how many foxes can you chase up Park Avenue? Well, so for a consolation prize, you know what she let him do? She let him build a honeymoon house. He built. I want the stables here, honey. The bedroom should be this way, honey. Of course, I would have clobbered a dame like that. But he was kind of quiet and shy. You'd think she'd have helped him, build him up, give him confidence. But no, she just kept squeezing it out of him. What makes a dame like that?
I don't know.
You know something? I bet all the time she called it love. He didn't die here. She killed him years ago.
Do you think he ever forgave her?
Oh, sure. He was that kind. I remember once I really fouled it up. He could have taken my stripes away for it, but he didn't. He told me there was no excuse for what I did, but what you can't excuse, you forgive, he said. He believed in giving people a second chance. I never let him down. You know something? When you get a second chance, you're awful lucky. Don't I know it? Say, I hear you're having a Valentine's party tonight. If I drop by, would you give me a dance? Or who'll I ask for?
Mrs. Howard Ashley. Thank you.
Is that you, Lee?
Well, where is everybody?
They called from the hospital. They need all the help they can get. They're setting up emergency tents for the river. It's that new push. The casualties are pouring in by the hundreds. Kate wants you to stay here and watch the place, and I'll go on out.
Well, can't I go too?
No, you better not, Lee. This one's going to be awfully rough.
attended to.
Oh, I'm all right, Kate.
Take care of yourself.
Don't worry.
Thanks, Red Cross.
Colin. Can you hear me?
Forgive me.
Can I get something for you?
Forgive me.
Hello, Lee. Got much pain?
Forgive me.
Why does he keep saying that?
Because he can't say anything else. Brain injury.
But why just...
Forgive me? Because it's been on his mind almost constantly the last 2 months. And it was the last thing he said just before we got hit last night. Oh, thank you. We were sitting in the command post when out of the blue he turned to me and said, I hope someday she can find it possible to forgive me. Just then a mortar crunched alongside of us. When he came to, all he could say was, forgive me.
Will he recover?
Just a temporary thing, the doctor says. He'll be all right in a couple of months. Oh, if you want to know what it is technically, I had the doctor write it down for me. He's a victim of motor expressive aphasia. That's a blood clot, brain. Now, that's the medical explanation, but mine's much simpler. I think God is making him write it on the blackboard 500 times.
Colonel Black, he's right there.
Excuse me, Chaplain.
Mm-hmm. See you later.
How's the Indian?
They just gave him a shot. He'll be going to sleep. How you feeling?
Kate, I never felt better in my life. You know, even with all the noise and the shooting, I've been sleeping nights lately. I made a discovery.
Yeah?
In a way, the Colonel was right. I came out here full of psalms and hymns, all set to change everybody.
I know.
And then I realized that my job was not to change men, but to find them. And then to help them believe in something more than just themselves.
That's a big discovery. How's Eddie? Is he all right?
When I went through his belongings, I found this. It's a picture of you, Kate. And his medals.
Can I do anything for you?
Forgive me.
don't you get some rest? You've been on your feet ever since yesterday. You won't come to for 5 or 6 hours.
I can wait. I can wait.